All right, so it ends 1-1, but as I mentioned, León still in first place with those 20 points. América trailing only by 3, but as we know, the Liga MX can change very, very quickly. But this was a missed opportunity, as both of you mentioned here, especially when it comes to América. But I want to dive into what we've seen from James Rodríguez, because there were doubts around what he was capable to do, coming off a very disappointing stint here with Rayo Vallecano. And it was, again, he's better with country than he is with club. Has he surprised you here with León?
Absolutely, because the narrative around James Rodríguez, when it comes to his club football, he just coasted. He didn't care. He would bring out his best football for the national team. He would bring out his best football when he put on that yellow jersey for Colombia. That's not the case here with León. You've got to understand where León was last season. They were 11th place in Liga MX last season. They didn't make the playoff system, which allowed 10. They were 11th. They only scored 20 goals. They have 15 right now, and they only had 3 wins. They have 6 right now. This is the James Rodríguez effect. James Rodríguez has 4 assists, 2 goals in 7 games played. He's directly been involved in every single win for this team. The reason they are playing so well is James Rodríguez. James Rodríguez right now is a bona fide superstar in Liga MX. And I understand that it wasn't a good fit at Rayo Vallecano. You watch a Rayo Vallecano who just played against Barcelona recently, and it's very high press. They're very dynamic. It's very much a work rate type of team. One would say that's not his style. If you watch this game against América, fighting with his paisano over there, Borja, the Colombian, who was playing as a left back, getting into him, running up and down the field, just how invested he was. I only see this version of James Rodríguez with Colombia. I'm finally seeing it now at the club level. It's been since, and granted, the level is a big difference, but it's been since Real Madrid, maybe some Bayern Munich years, that you've not seen a productive club level James Rodríguez right now. And granted, I repeat, the level is lower at Liga MX, but he's found his groove. He has found his joy for the game again, and you can see it when he plays.
How big can this be for him, Shaq, changing the narrative around him at the club level?
It needs this, because Hugo is right. It's been one struggle after the next for far too long for James Rodríguez at club level. And I say it's big because, to that point, you are reminded every 2 years, every 4 years, how good a player he is or can be when he puts on that Colombian national team shade, but he just hasn't been able to replicate it. Such a fantastic technical footballer that you want to see. You want to see those kinds of players shine. And he also has this smile about him, this way about him, that he kind of brings you in. He brings the neutral in because he always seems to be enjoying what he's doing. That's the kind of player that neutrals are drawn to, that they're acclimatized to. So it's really good to see James Rodríguez, again, remembering exactly how good he was, knowing how good he can be, replicate that form on a more regular basis.
Shaq and I were covering Copa America this past summer, and every game that Colombia played, he had John Arias, he had, Rios, he had, different players around him being his legs, different players working for him. Even Luis Diaz, he had players that would work for him, and he got to be a natural number 10. Around the world, that position's almost becoming extinct.
Yeah.
That playmaking role, the actual 10 that sits underneath the striker, that's allowed to roam and operate. Now the modern 10 is out on the wing. He's very dynamic. He's a two-way player. He's very much a traditional 10. In Liga MX, where you still see a lot of traditional 10s, and León, who have built around him, they're smart enough to say there are certain games where we can't play with Andrés Guardado in the midfield and James Rodríguez right in front of him, because Andrés Guardado is 36 years old, 37, who's already played 5 World Cups, doesn't have the legs in him. I can't have another player there if I already have James. So they're being very strategic about how they use James Rodríguez, and it's paying off because the one thing he has is quality in that left foot. And whether it's service, whether it's a dead ball, whether it's vision, getting other players involved, he's going to pull those strings. He's in a situation right now where a 10 could be a 10, and he's flourishing.
Is he the best Liga MX player right now for you?
I mean, certainly in terms of name, you've got to go with James Rodríguez. Sergio Ramos is a massive name, but he's a defender. James Rodríguez is a massive name. He's an offensive player. He's putting up the numbers. I think there's, and this is going to sound silly, comparing James Rodríguez to Alejandro Sendejas or Luis Ángel Malagón, the goalkeeper for America, but I see Sendejas today, and the 3 championships they won in Club America, he was vital in every single championship. And right now, he's coming off of Liga MX Player of the Month, 4 goals, 4 assists in limited time, 7 games only played. The way they play, the way they depend on him. You look at Luis Ángel Malagón, the first 2 of the 3 championships they won, he was the main reason. The main reason they went back-to-back champions was their goalkeeper. And we forget about that. And we still have Memo Ochoa in the background of, will he play his 6th World Cup? Will he be the starter? And this kid's sitting here like, hey, I'm over here. I can do this as well. And Shaq, you tell me, but you saw the difficulty in shots. You saw the difficulty in saves. It's a very good player. That would be my handful of players right now that I would compete at this moment in time with James in this very brief body of work.
Right. Well said. And Gignac is coming back from injury too. And as we know, he has been that bona fide.
Gambino has 8 goals in like 8 games.
Yeah. All right, a reminder, you can catch Ahora o Nunca Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific on ESPN Deportes and YouTube.